a little earlier this week, you mentioned by name a guy, a boy at the time who you had a crush on in third grade.
Yeah, I don't know why I did this.
As you were going into your news, I mentioned his name again.
You did.
And it totally succeeded. It had the desired effect. It totally threw you off your game. So, and then a little bit later that morning on Twitter, this guy named McCrushface keeps calling the station and asking for you, what are we supposed to tell him? And again, I just think this is this joke, and I'm just sort of carrying it on. And you were like mortified.
I continue to be mortified to the point of like death inside. It's awful.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. Why are you mortified? Pick up the story.
Apparently, we follow each other on Twitter. So yesterday, I opened up my tweets and I opened up my notifications to see how many people had liked my John Cryer tweets, because that was all that was on my mind yesterday. And I have 3 likes from McCrushface on the tweets about him. And they were from days ago.
Right.
So you think you can make fun of me and he'll never know and it'll be fine. But he did know. And now he knows that 20 some odd years later, I still talk about him and I'm a crazy stalker.
Yes. So what did you take away from that? That he's following you on Twitter and somewhat actively following you on Twitter, but only engaging when
I reference him, apparently.
When it references him?
I don't know. What I took away from it is like I was thankful he didn't unfollow me immediately or block me from Twitter, because that's what I was expecting to happen. This is the most embarrassing thing ever, and I'm sure everyone can relate to this. Like when you're younger and you tell one of your friends you have a crush on someone, and then they tell that person. So you basically did that to me as an adult, and it's just as embarrassing now.
It's like 20 years ago. You haven't seen the guy since 5th grade or 6th grade.
And now I'll never see him again because he thinks that I'm crazy.
If you did run into McCrushface, and say you're back in Buffalo and you're at a reunion or whatever, and he decides to come back and you run into him, wouldn't it just be kind of a funny story? Like, would you really be embarrassed?
Hope so.
No, I mean for you. I
would be so embarrassed.
But it would just be sort of a funny, like, ha-ha. Like I'd
have to pass it off that way, but my shins would be sweating the entire time.
Well, I really did think it was a joke, so I apologize. I did not mean to put you in that position.
But you did a little bit.
Well, I did, but when you said, you said, now it's going to look like, I'm like, you're just being ridiculous. That's never going to happen. And then
it happened.
Sure enough, turns out you were right.